It's Thursday night, everybody, and we're back on Turn 1 for the NC811 Limited Series, the ARCA edition here at Daytona tonight. I'm Sean Fitz again. Thanks so much for being here. It's going to be a great night of racing action up and down the grid, and I am really excited to be back with this group here this season for another round of ARCA racing here at its finest at the famed Daytona International Speedway. We're going to go super speedway racing here tonight under the lights in the ARCA car. It's going to be a good time. 65 laps. But first, we got to get them started, and they're getting grid up right now. And you know what? I don't know. Let me see here. Let's see if we can get a good view. There we go. We'll use that. We'll walk through the starting grid as they get joined up here, and I'm not shocked to see tonight who's on the pole. We're waiting for him to grid up before we mention him. You know what? We're not going to wait anymore. Wait any longer. It's the boss man. It's Joey Gentina at the point here. He had a strong season just a few weeks ago. Finished P2 in the points. He's starting Race number 1 on the pole here tonight. Bobby Wetzel is going to start in row number 2, or the P2 rather. Vincent Short, Ronnie Shirk is row 2. Brian Workman gonna start 5th. Cody DeFord, Shannon Wood, Robert Barber, James Durr. Last NC811 Limited Series champion Richard Swavely is gonna start 10th tonight. Fred Chase, Tyler McGehee, Doug Sigmund, Jake Goodwin, Tim Shippitt, and Alex Grog is going to make up that first 15. We got a full field here tonight. Matt Erickson, John Fowler, Landon Audit, Kevin Stone is going to round out that 20th place there. We see that 12 car Landon Audit and that kinetic Plutus McFarland paint scheme here at the at Daytona. We certainly hope Landon has a better success at Daytona than Plutus has so far. James Smith, Doug Roth, Stoney Benfield, Scott Formosa, Matt Nicholson, your top 25 as the field rolls off the grid here. Jason White, Zach Stronsky, Joseph H. Atchison, Matthew Mullins, DeAndre Kane is going to start 31st. Dalton Allen, 32nd. J.C. Windsor, 33rd. Trevor Martin, Dalton Bremus, Mark Schrader, Michael Saylor, Gerald Livingston, Jamie Proctor, and it looks like Alex Henry is going to round out this full 40-car field here tonight at Daytona. Again, it is going to be a wild one in the books, I am sure, as they come down the backstretch here and get ready to see the green flag for the first time tonight in this NC811 ARCA series. Our truck series concluded here just a few weeks ago, and they took a couple weeks off. We've been watching some exciting action on Sunday nights in the Cup Group with the Jalou KC Limited Series on Sundays here on Turn 1. But we're getting ready now to crank it up with the ARCA car, and this car has really turned up some exciting racing. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys can do this season. We're going to take next week off and then head to Rockingham 2 weeks' time. But first, we've got to get it sorted out at the beach. I see Dalton Allen over on the YouTube chat. He says he's going to bring home the checkered flag tonight. And Kingsley looking for the 95 to bring home the checkered flag. Well, we'll be talking about those drivers and many more as the pace car heads down pit road. Joey Jatina, Bobby Wetzel on the front row. Green flag is out for the season kickoff of the NC811 series. Big run down the inside to kick it off here. That's Vincent Short. Brian Wortman down there doing work. Wetzel's about 4 car lengths back on that outside line. We're going to see these machines get big runs here tonight. And so far, that inside line capitalizing. Wortman's pulled up there alongside alongside Wetzel. Wetzel's actually lost a lot of support. 2 car length gap back behind him. Joey Jatina is the star of the show. The boss man's going to lead lap number 1 here at Daytona. Single file for the top 5. Wetzel continuing to slide back, now sitting in 7th. I believe that is, oh goodness, who is that there with you, Mr. Wetzel? Oh, we got a car on the apron. I believe that was a driver starting on the pits, starting down the pit, rather. That's the 30, but I don't think we've got the 30 in running order. I believe that's not James Durr. I believe that is Ronnie Shirk. And that white 30 on the outside, we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, that inside line looking pretty strong. Joey Jatina going to lead the second one. These cars firmly up to speed now as they work through the corner. At a track like Daytona and Talladega, it certainly takes a little while for these machines to get up to full snuff, and Well, they're there now. 65 laps of racing action, and I've called dozens of super speedway races in my time over the last 7 or 8 years here broadcasting races, and I say the same thing every time. You've got to be there at the end to win, and there's nothing more truer than that. You have got to have the car together, no damage. You've got to have friends, and you've got to have fuel to get to the end of this. If you get to the last lap and you've got a friend or two, a clean car, and enough fuel to get all the way back around, more often than not, it's anybody's race. We see Shannon Wood knocking himself up into the top 5 here, sitting back there in 4th. They're starting to get a little chaotic there towards the rear. Side by side, that's Fred Chase. Bobby Wetzel, Tyler McGehee, Ronnie Shirk sitting there. Robert Barber on his move forward as well in the 83 Chevrolet on the outside. Robert Barber put on an impressive season during the first season of the year here in the trucks. And when I say impressive, he had the wick turned up on that thing for the longest of times. It really was something to be seen here out of Robert Barber. To be right on board with that 83 car. He had those trucks really wound up, had it figured out. Wasn't quite able to materialize the point standings or the points position he wanted to. But looking pretty sharp here so far in these ARCA cars, knocking on the door of the top 10 so far. Joey Jatina continues to lead out front. But Vincent Short now making himself known here in that second place spot. Brian Wortman's having a good showing here so far as well, sitting in 3rd after 6 laps. This is Tyler McGehee. He's got the help of the 9 of Bobby Wetzel on the push on the outside. Remember, Wetzel started on the outside of row number 1 alongside Joey Jatina. Wasn't able to quite put the start together and then lost a lot of support. Wetzel slid back as far back as 8th by lap 3, but now he's got some help. He's got some friends, and he's moving forward. And Tyler McGehee just made a move on the outside of turn 1. We got a car down on the apron. They're going to recover. That's a big apron move there as they come down the backstretch here, and we've got a fight for the lead as Robert Barber's up in the mix. He's going backwards. Alex Grog is up here. Tyler McGehee, John Fowler, Joey Jatina all of a sudden is back to 6th in that 14 car. Alex Grog to the point on the outside. He's going to move down, take the nose off of John Fowler. I'm sorry, off of Tyler McGehee. He's going to take the lead here, lap number 8. Saw some folks earlier tonight talk about their drivers, who's going to be able to pull it off here this evening. And it really can be anybody's race. This race is pretty much a great equalizer for a lot of folks. I believe we see now John Fowler to the point. Cody DeForge is up there as well. I think we saw Dalton Allen mention that he was going to be up in the mix. Well, so far he's sitting 28th. Back there, up 6 spots, biding his time. He's riding back there with that group that's settled in towards the rear. That is certainly a good way to cruise here at Daytona. Out of the drama so far back here is Dalton Allen hanging out, putting on some laps here early at Daytona. King Slade saying the 95 is going to be able to bring it. That's right. I remember seeing that, but I don't show a car number 95 in, at least on an iRacing number, maybe painted on the car. We'll have to figure that who that Mr. Slade is cheering on. Nonetheless, right now, our new leader out front, John Fowler. Fowler was also having a really solid championship run in the trucks. Wasn't quite meant to be. Would love to come into ARCA here, kick off a win. Daytona is obviously everybody wants to win at Daytona. It is the prized possession of iRacing and NASCAR as a whole. Everybody wants to be here winning. They want to be the fastest, they want to be the best, and they want to be the person that manipulated the field the most. And as Joey Chatina's now going to make some moves on the outside. Tell you, those runs really coming with a head of steam. He's going to bring Fred Chase up there with him. Now it's going to be side by side. Chase is going to move to the bottom. Take that run that Chatina gave him there. He rode that wave all the way to the front, but now he knows Chatina is going to be able to repay the favor here in just a little bit. But everybody wants to win at Daytona, but I think there's a little bit more here at stake than what meets the eye. Everybody has an opportunity in this field to win this race tonight. And you can't necessarily say that when you head to Rockingham, when you head to Darlington, when you head to even places like Kansas and Michigan. Those are it's just different types of racing, and some lean into different strategies, not strategies, but disciplines, and others are kind of a jack of all trades, but not a master of one. Well, tonight here at Daytona is a good opportunity for you to knock a win off early in the season before you head to Rockingham, which can be really a tough racetrack, and the many others here down the stretch as this season runs all the way through, I believe, October, early November-ish time frame. So while there is a lot of time to make some points up, the chase came down to, I think it was 8 points or 12 points separated the top three at Homestead in the truck a couple weeks ago. So you got to get what you could get. And right now, Joey Chatina got himself right back to the front. He's got Ronnie Shirk on the outside, Fred Chase, Doug Sigmund, John Fowler, Doug Roth, Cody DeForge, Tim Sheffield, Alex Grog, Bobby Wetzel, your top 10. While we've got the opportunity here, and let's do it in a place that I don't think I normally would. Let's ride on board that outside line with that 43 Richard Petty blue machine of Doug Roth as he takes a lap or two here around Daytona. A lot of off-throttle time. These drivers trying to not get too into the rear bumper of those around them here as they work around Daytona. Riding on board right now with Cody DeForge, the number 24. He's sitting back in that inside line, and man, you can see it is a flat fight to keep the car straight and underneath you down this Daytona backstretch here tonight. You know, we were talking about Joey Chatina being the star of the show out front. Well, he's cycled all the way back to 8th now. Doug Roth is at the point. putting on a show. Bobby Wetzel's found himself back out there. Tim Sheffield, he's up 12 spots. Matt Erickson in fourth as they come across the stripe here, working lap number 16 at Daytona for the NC811.org. Call before you dig. Limited series here on turn one. You know, SIM500 has called so many different races, that premier group, and this group has just put on show after show after season the last couple of years. Has been an incredible run for this group, and I couldn't be more proud of what Joey Jettina is putting together. The OGs of the limited series at heart as we see a battle for the lead here. They're going to run into some lap traffic. That's Wetzel on the outside. He had two cars dump him there. That was who was that down there? I think that's we're going to make it 3 wide here for a second. Wetzel getting nervous. They're going to catch this lap car in a really decent spot, but nope, actually I say that, and they're not. That is going to be a problem as they go off into one. Wetzel's going to have the run on the outside here. He's going to tow Jason White around. Here comes 3 cars, 4 cars, and that lap car is going to move deep down to the inside, but not before really checking up that inside line and wreaking havoc here with the leaders. Wetzel out front, but again, he's staying on that high line. As I was saying, I couldn't be more proud of what Joey Jettina's put together and the SIM500 gang. Obviously, it's not just Joey's show. Runs a tight ship over there with all the admins, and then on top of that, just being the pioneers of finding the right balance with this limited series format. We've seen it again for the last year and a half or so. It's just been show after show, and I am very fortunate to call those races. And I tell you what, if you're a driver, this is a 40-car field here tonight. Next week's going to be, or the week after, it's going to be just as busy. But I tell you what, if I were in the position to want to run some races here, as Fred Chase is going to come to the outside, or inside rather, dump Bobby Wetzel on the outside. And he's going to quickly fall backwards there as Chase is going to pick it up on the inside. If I were in a position to want to run some races, Sim500 is who I'd want to be doing it with, and you should want to do the same. Head on over to sim500.com for more information. Get connected. They're racing 3, 4, 5 nights a week here, and you're not going to be disappointed where you go. Either it be here or Sunday Night Cup or the Monday, Wednesday groups, wherever. Find a home. Get settled in. Come racing. Sim500.com. Starting to single file out a little bit, and I can't say I'm surprised. We are closing in here on lap number 20 next time by, and we should be starting to see pit stops play out at Daytona. What does that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. It means you need buddies. You heard me talk about that earlier. You need a clean car. But really more important, you need friends to come down pit road with you to get these drafts built up so you don't lose a ton of time. And it's hard to come down pit road here without being single file. It is certainly a challenge when you're side by side, and you may have somebody on that inside line who is not wanting to come down pit road. You may have others who are in this field trying to keep it clean, being very respectful here early, knows that we're not even halfway yet. Thinking about that pit stop upcoming. Everybody's now single file chasing that yellow, double yellow line down on the bottom of this Daytona racetrack. Everybody quite spread out here as we're going to see. There it is. We're going to see some cars peel off and pit stops underway. Big charge forward for John Fowler. I think he got it slowed down as well. Fred Chase side by side him as we've got pit stops in a car going around. That was Cody DeForge getting into the back of, goodness, they are flying through so fast. That was Jason White that got tagged. And this is going to be devastating for Jason White. No caution out, but he gets sideways and spun on pit road. That's going to give the lead up to Tyler McGeehee in the 51 car. Alex Scroggs going to settle into second. Bobby Wetzel's right here in third. Doug Roth, Ronnie Shirk, Scott Formosa, Robert Barber, Vincent Short, James Durr, and Jake Goodwin. Your top 10 here, as we're going to see some others come down, and that's Formosa and Barber coming down together. We got a car sliding across the paint. That, goodness gracious, that was Dalton Bernius, DeAndre Kane. Also a little slow on entry here, and lessons are being learned early with first round of green flag pit stops coming up here at Daytona. McGeehee's on the point, Alex Grog, Bobby Wetzel, Doug Sigmund, Roddy Shirk, your top five, and goodness, we're already have more than half the field through the pit cycle here. As we're gonna see McGeehee get jacked up. Oh, it gets a little sporty back behind him. They fan out a little bit. Alex Grog's gonna come down. Sigmund's gonna come down, landing on it. This is gonna be the majority of the field pitting here. That's Michael Saylor, Dalton Allen, Brian Wortman down pit road. That's going to leave the final four drivers yet to come. Going to be led by Bobby Wetzel, Vincent Short, Jake Goodwin, and Stoney Benfield are the final drivers have not come down pit road. They're going to blow by Wetzel here with a big run. Wetzel's going to be lucky to catch on to the draft here, and he's going to do so. Vincent Short's going to take the lead here for just a few moments. But keep in mind, they're going to have to come down. Wetzel's super slow. Way far back there, coming out of four is Short, Godwin, Stoney Benfield, and Wetzel's going to come down pit road. We've got a couple other drivers. That's James Durr also hitting pit road. Dalton Bernius coming down in the 85. I think that's a repit for him. Maybe a penalty being served either way. We can look back out to the point right now, and it's Fred Chase. Cycled through your leader here. Once they come back across the start-finish line, then it'll be John Fowler, Shannon Wood, Scott Formosa, Robert Barber, your top five. We're going to see that come to fruition here, man. I tell you what, those green flag pit stops at Daytona, they are no joke. You've got to have a high level of execution to get them done here. As we ride on board Scott Formosa, as they come around, making some hay, making some steam. That's looking back at the 83 of Robert Barber. I tell you what, I continue to be thoroughly impressed in what Barber can do each and every week in different types of cars. This man is fast. Oh, we got a caution out on the racetrack. Trying to find it here. Oh, right there. See Fred Chase, who was leading sideways across the track here, and a bunch of others. Looks like they're tangled up in some drama. And this does look like it started here. Oh, this did happen exactly right in front of the leaders. Chase goes around. Oh, big impact for Chase and others. Looks like Doug Sigmund landed on it. Unfortunately, it looks like Vincent Short's going to be involved in this as well. Vincent Short went high, and then the 12 getting caught up in this as well. And that's going to bring the caution out for the first time here tonight on turn one. That is not what these drivers were looking for. And I suspect we're going to see some frustrations during post-race. We're going to recap all of this and talk about the pit strategy. John Fowler leads at Daytona after 25. You're watching turn one. Pace car lights are off, and we're getting ready to get back. Green flag racing here at Daytona. Tyler McGeehee, Alex Grogg out front. Shannon Wood, Robert Barber, John Fowler, Joey Jettina. Your top five. Couple drivers electing to pit during this cycle. We'll talk about it in just a moment, but the green flag back out here for the NC811 Limited Series. Off down into turn one, McGeehee, Alex Grogg. Those front two drivers have got connected pretty well. I suspect we'll see them move down to the bottom here. They will. That's going to shut the door. Robert Barber's going to slide into third. Shannon Woods found himself in that fourth place position as they're working lap number 28. We saw a bunch of drivers come down here, pit on lap number 25, including Barber, Shannon Wood, John Fowler, Formosa, Jettina, DeForge, Swavely, and others all come down on 25. I think that was just for a top off of fuel. Maybe some drivers taking a few seconds of repairs, but ultimately, it seems like some of these drivers thinking this is going to come down to a fuel mileage race. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form you're making it the whole way from here. You know, you still got a long road to hoe, about 35 laps worth or so. And I don't see a method at which any of these drivers make it, although this top 15 is single filed out here. As they come back down across the start finish line, it starts to get a little sporty back here around the 45, the 21, the 43, the 60, 67, 17. Kevin Stone on that outside. He's always easy to spot in those green paint schemes. And as he goes screaming by. These ARCA cars, man, again, if I was in a position to want to go racing right now, this is where I would be in this ARCA series, having a blast with these guys every Thursday night here on turn one, because these cars are just a fun watch, and we're gonna see them obviously super speedway racing is super speedway racing, and it's not necessarily everybody's forte, but we're gonna see these cars putting on shows all over the iRacing network here over the next many months. As the show's going to start to pick up. Three wide battle for the lead. Out of nowhere. Wood, Grogg, McGeehee. Side by side. Man, coming out of two. It's getting spicy there. And who is that down the middle? Is that Grogg? It is. He's going backwards in a hurry. Shannon Wood on the outside's got Fowler glued to the bumper. McGeehee on the inside. Here comes Jettina again. Back making his way, paving his way forward on that outside line. Cody DeForge sitting there on that outside row as well. As Wood's going to take the point here. On the inside. And keep him rolling. Looking at the back bumper, or the front bumper here of, goodness, who are we looking at here? That's the back bumper, that's the front bumper of the 93 Camry of John Fowler. I'm sorry, the 71 of John Fowler. You hear riding on board here with Shannon Wood, that lift of the throttle. He is wanting to take it pretty easy here. He does not want to get too far off the bumper of Fowler, because that's just going to put Fowler in a position to get a massive run. These plate races, it's more than just keep your foot to the floor and turn left. You've got to think about it. You've got to watch the run. You've got to know the people around you here. When I mean you've got to have buddies here, as we see Jettina back out front, you've got to have friends. You got to have folks that you can work with. You've got to have somebody that can push. You got to have somebody that can tow all at the same time as Jatina. He says, no, sir, I don't want this. You guys can take this point. And you saw him intentionally just move there out behind. And DeForge took the lead. I don't know how many times I have said Bobby Wetzel having some trouble going into the back. We've seen him several times on that outside line just lose momentum, and now all of a sudden he's out there again, but we got a big wreck on the front stretch. 10 cars involved. This is Alex Grog, Matt Erickson, Robert Barber is spun in the grass. James Smith, Jason White, Brian Wortman involved in this. Oh no, Brian Wortman got slowed up for it. Massive crash here. Coming to lap number 35. I don't think this is going to be a good view of it, but let's take a look. Now, this was all happening well before. Man, there's going to be a lot of beat up race cars in this mix. Looks like Richard Swavely may have been tangled up in this as well. No, that's coming from the inside to the outside, block the track. See several cars going to the inside. That was Swavely, took the grass route. Wow, so many drivers having a good night riding around in the back. And the caution comes out once again here. Now, this is going to get really interesting. What does the fuel mileage say about this? It definitely could materialize into something. But first, we're going to step away one more time as pit stops are going to be underway. You're watching Turn 1 on Thursday night, the NC811 Limited Series. Thursday night series here on Turn 1, brought to you by the NC811.org group and SIM500. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Well past halfway here at Daytona for the season opener of the NC811 Limited Series season here as they come back to the green flag. Lap number 38. We're going to 65 here at Daytona. Joey Jettina. I'm sorry, that is not Joey Jettina. That is Matthew Mullins and J.C. Windsor on the front row. Green flag back out there with a 21, getting a pretty big jump. We got cars sideways again through the grass. I'm not sure what happened. Dalton Allen got mixed up in it. Several cars spun here on the restart. Let's go back and take a quick look. Happening about halfway through the rear of the field. Keep an eye there. Oh, yeah, it just looks like that inside line got checked up. Nobody got rolling. No caution out, though. J.C. Windsor back up front. Doug Roth in that famed Petty Blue 43. Sitting second at the moment. Wood, Fowler, Sheffield, your top five. Looks like we're going to see Matthew Mullins come down pit road. I don't think, actually, I'm not quite sure what the story is there with the 21. Obviously restarted in the lead. Maybe, I don't think that was planned. We'll have to chase that down, see if we can get an answer. Meanwhile, back to green racing here is Windsor, Roth, Wood, Fowler, Sheffield, your top five. Even with that big checkup, Joey Jettina was able to save position just a bit here. He is sitting sixth at the moment. Dalton Burness sitting seventh. Cody DeForge, Mark Schrader, Ronnie Shirk, your top 10. Remember, Robert Barber was tangled up in that drama a little while ago. He and Scott Formosa, Ron Holyfield, Jason Blight, Michael Seller, all here trying to get some momentum going as they're going to look to the outside of the 83. That's Formosa trying to make that pass. I think Robert Barber is down on some horsepower, and they're going to cruise by. He is going to try to pick up some draft. This will be a disappointing result here for Robert Barber, I imagine. Before it's all said and done, as Bobby Wetzel cruising on the outside there. A couple drivers going to come to the aid of the 83. And this track, this type of situation is actually a good learning opportunity because obviously it looks like that 83 is down on power. I am not quite sure what's going on back there towards the rear of the field there with the 83 all over. I think that was Alex Henry. Maybe some extracurriculars there going on. Either way, these drivers, 83 being of Robert Barber, he's lost the draft and he was looking for an opportunity to maybe get a tow, and maybe he could run better behind somebody or being the pusher or the leader, but no dice for the 83 car. Back out front, it's Windsor, Roth, Wood, your top three. Fowler, Sheffield, Jettina, your three behind them. And now at this point, as they're going to come back here to the stripe, that's going to be lap number 50, and that'll be 15 to go. I'm sorry, that'll be 25 to go, rather. And coming to lap 40, coming to lap 42. I can only, do a little bit of basic education or the basic subtraction and addition, so don't expect too much from me. Anyway, they're going to come back around here to complete lap 42, and I think a lot of these drivers are going to be right on the number. We saw them come down pit road lap 35, so right before they come back green flag racing. I think this is going to get some of these guys into position to run this all the way out. It is going to be tight, and if there is overtime, that certainly could be a factor for some of these drivers. So if you're obviously in the seat of one of these ARCA machines here tonight, and maybe the fuel is right on the number or a lap or two even short, depending on how much you packed in the tank, what do you do? Let me know in the chat. Do you come down pit road? or do you stay out? I don't quite know what the best course of action is going to be here, especially if we were to get a caution or multiple cautions with restarts. You're pretty much going to gain a lap per, or 2 laps for every caution lap. But that's only going to go so far, especially if we see some overtime action here tonight. Riding on board the 71 of John Fowler. He has found himself well in the top 5 for most of the night here, and it's thinned out up here just a little bit, so he's got that car kind of smoothed out. Looking back here at I believe that's the 97 there. I believe that's Sheffield. Oh, he gets hard into the bumper, has to really back out. That was Sheffield, and now all of a sudden on the outside, Ron Holyfield's looking to squeeze up there. Scott Formosa, we're looking back here. Bobby Wetzel in the mix, and like I said, things have thinned out a little bit towards the front here, and I think arguably these guys are starting to settle in a little bit as JC Windsor continues to lead. Windsor, he started tonight in 33rd position. That's what I mean when I say this is a great equalizer, and it really truly, if you're running, got a clean car and enough fuel, you on the last lap, you have a chance to bring home the checkered flag here at Daytona. Anything is possible, and right now it doesn't matter where that 5 qualified, because right now he is on the point, and he's got some help there out of Doug Roth as they come down the short chute here into the start finish line. It's a complete lap number 44. Got a lot of folks over on YouTube, some folks on Twitch watching tonight, and Facebook as well. Thank you so much for being here and tuning into Turn 1. This coming Sunday night, we go cup racing for the Jaloo KC Limited Series. Get yourself a Jaloo. I could use one right now. Some Italian ice. Anyway, the Jaloo Limited Cup Series returns on Sunday night. 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. I'm sorry, let me take that back. I believe it's 9 Eastern, 8 Central. There we go. Right after the Cup race here this weekend. And then as soon as that's over, I'm jumping in a car and we're going to the Bahamas. It's going to be a great time. Well, we're not taking the car to Bahamas, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm looking forward to Sunday. I hope you are too. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor. Scroll up. Like the stream, give us a thumbs up on any platform you're watching, or if you could, give us a follow. Subscription on YouTube would be great. All of those options are free of charge, and we appreciate the support. Scott Formosa is able to slide around JC Windsor. They've got a lap car on the point here. I believe that was the 12 of... Oh, that's the 12 of Landon Audit. Remember mentioning, you got to have some friends and being able to tow. Well, we saw Audit make some room here for Scott Formosa, and all of a sudden, out front, he's got a big push. He's got a big tow. Scott Formosa to the point here, lap number 48. And Formosa are going to work around this lap traffic a bit. Bobby Wetzel in the mix as well now on the outside. Again, this has been Wetzel all night tonight. Every time I mention he's struggling a little bit there in that 9 car, he somehow finds a way to put himself back into this top 5. Again, as I mentioned, a lot of these drivers came down pit road lap 35. Everybody taking fuel. Wetzel was no different as he's tucked up tight under the nose here of Scott Formosa, and I think a lot of these drivers are going to try to stretch it all the way back around here to 65, so that'd be 30 green flag laps, or 30 laps of post pit stops, or what, about 28 green flag. He's going to put a lot of guys right on the number here, and now all of a sudden Wetzel's getting a monstrous run formed up. Ronnie Shirk on the outside. Huge run, and that outside line, here they come. Jason White's going to follow through, nearly tried to squeeze under Ronnie there. Didn't quite get the move done. Bobby Wetzel stuck on the outside. New leader right now in the 99 of Ronnie Shirk. Again, Wetzel's just the car that refuses to give up here, and you see him on that outside groove. Still has 3 cars up there right with him. Nobody's given up that outside line yet. We see some, who is that up there blinking? Oof, that's going to be a distraction for a couple of these guys. That may be Michael Saylor, I believe it is. Ronnie out to the point. Now, keep in mind that 12 car. He's out to the outside, going to pick up Wetzel here. That is not for position. Landon Audit in that kinetic machine, he is a lap down. So he is up here playing with the leaders and in a lot of ways helping some of these leaders make some moves here. Audit has the outside. That's what's keeping Bobby Wetzel alive out there, is that toe from the 12. They're making their way forward. Car down on the apron. And all of a sudden, Bobby Wetzel's got the run put together. That's going to bring the 85 in the mix as well. The 12 moves down again, a lapped car. Bobby Wetzel's going to try to get clear of him on the outside. He should have moved down. He elected to stay up, and that hesitation may cost him here. Here comes the 12 in the run. He had the toe in the draft. He should have made the move there. So far, he's able to hang on as Shirk's beating the bumper off the 12. The 9 of Bobby Wetzel's going to lead that lap from the outside. 1 car in tow on that outside line here as we work lap 53. I know I mentioned it a little while ago, but that 3 wide tactic here at Daytona doesn't necessarily work very well. We did see it again coming to fruition earlier, but I don't think we'll see it too often as Wetzel now is that outside line really falling apart. Ronnie Shirk's going to move up here. He's got a massive run with the 12. Jason White's going to make a move here. The 85 is going to do the same. Wetzel's going to fall back. We've got cars coming down pit road. I did not expect to see that. That's Saylor. I've already has down pit road, and maybe some of these drivers not quite on the number they thought they were. Limit Tanner on YouTube says, gamble and make it. I think a lot of these drivers certainly are going to do that, Tanner. I think there's, I would say most of these guys are going to be committed to doing that. I think what's really going to be interesting, and maybe we look back here, let's look at Cody DeForge. He's right now running 12th in this draft. Obviously got a big bubble out in front of him. Half throttle, I bet, as we ride on board. Oh, but others are coming down pit road. Ronnie Shirk is going to come down pit road. Jason White, all drivers there on the front portion of this field. Meanwhile, Mark Schrader, Cody DeForge, even Joey Gentina back here just riding around in that, this is outside the top 10, but, or actually, Joey's sitting 9th at the moment, but sitting back here and just cruising. He knows everybody in front of him here is on full push as they're all about to get checked up with this lap car. We've got cars on the apron. There's action all over the place. But anyway, I do believe, I think you're right. I think this is going to be a gamble. You stay out. Maybe you try to get in a draft, cruise a while as the 12 peels off and comes down pit road. Who is going to have enough fuel when it's all said and done? And they come across the stripe here. We're at 10 laps to go tonight at Daytona for the NC811 Limited Series on turn 1. The season premiere here, and we're going, I believe it's, oh goodness, what is that? 20 races? Either way, we're going for the long haul here all the way through the fall. The NC811 Limited Series. Oh, Richard Swavely got tagged a little bit. Meanwhile, we've got, I think there's a lot of fuel mileage work being done here as we got cars trying to get down pit road. And I don't think, wow, that was half the field that peeled off. Shannon Wood, oh, big check up there. For that driver, that was Alex Henry. Scott from Moses down pit road. That's going to bring Tim Sheffield, Alex Henry, and others down pit road. So maybe that fuel mileage wasn't as close as I would think it would be. Now Wetzel out front, and we've seen Wetzel be out point here for essentially the second half of this run. Does Bobby Wetzel have enough? Did he save enough? He came down pit road lap 35 with the rest of the field. Does he have enough to get it done? And meanwhile, more cars are going to peel off. That's DeAndre Kane, Stoney Benfield. Richard Swavely now riding around in the backpack here. That is absolutely a fuel mileage run for Swavely as we see Brian Wortman, James Smith hit pit road. A mix of strategies on the point, all being led by Bobby Wetzel, though. What has the 9 car got as the laps continue to click off here? This time by, that's going to bring the rest of the field. So no, nobody wanted to take the gamble. The mileage must have been too big of a gap to make up, and Wetzel's going to bring Swavely down pit road. Doug Roth, Ron Holyfield, all coming to the attention of their crew. Meanwhile, this is going to cycle things back out here to Shannon Wood, Joey Gentina, Alex Henry, Cody DeForge. He's got hooked up with John Fowler, Scott Formosa. They're going to have a big run as they motor forward here with DeForge on the point, and they're well together. They are going to get caught up here really soon. Meanwhile, Bobby Wetzel, he is coming off pit road. He's got Swavely, Roth, Holyfield with him, but that group on track are going to be well up to speed. But they're going to be able to latch onto this draft, I do believe. We're going to see it right here. Here comes Shannon Wood on the outside. But this is played out perfectly for Wetzel. They're going to be able to latch onto this draft and be right here with the leaders and the final laps. They're going to get caught up and right about there. They're going to get locked into this draft. What a move out of the 9 car. Precision green flag pit stop puts them back into 4th place here as they come to the stripe with 6 to go. Shannon Wood, Joey Gentina, Alex Henry, Wetzel, Swavely, Roth, DeForge, Fowler, Formosa, Holyfield, your top 10. Holyfield's in a little bit of trouble losing the draft there. That is a 3-car pack. That's DeForge, Formosa, and John Fowler. As Gentina here on that 14 car is glued to the bumper. I tell you what, you want to talk about a driver scorned at the end of last season. Felt like he got the same treatment from his teammates as he got from his other competitors. missed the championship by just a handful of points. Had a great season in the trucks. Right now, running top 3 here at Daytona, has led some laps, started on the pole, stayed out of trouble. Coming down the backstretch here in prime position with 4.5 to go. They spread out back behind Jatina. That's Alex Henry on the outside. Wetzel's going to move up a little bit, maybe try to go with Jatina. Moved up to try to block, had nowhere to go. Things are getting chaotic here. Shannon Wood moved up, but it's not going to be able to hold off the advances of Alex Henry. Henry's going to take the prime spot on the outside. That just shows you the powerhouse runs that can be had in these ARCA cars. But Wood's not giving up. We got a car in the wall. No caution. Everybody stays green. Another car up there in the wall. The give and take meter is pegged. Everybody's done giving, and everybody's at the counter wanting to do some taking. If I'm the driver of the 2 or the 14, I learned a lot that lap in terms of the runs on the outside and what I've got to do to block those runs. And those are the lessons you got to be learning as they come to the stripe. 3 to go. Keep close tabs on Alex Henry, Bobby Wetzel, Cody DeForge. They're back there just a little bit, hanging off this lead group, and I firmly expect these guys to really monster a charge here on the next lap or so. And we're going to see Wood, Jatina, Swavely sitting ducks. I see several cars on the apron. We got a car spun. What a big wiggle out of Wetzel, and he's going to keep going. No caution. They're going to come back to the stripe. That has split this group up to 6 cars. 2 to go. Shannon Wood leads. Swavely, our champion from last season, moving to the outside. He's got Fowler glued to the bumper here. I believe that's Scott Formosa that's with him. Woo! Wow, big wiggle out of Fowler. They were able to save it, but that's going to kill the run. The 2, the 14, the 71 on that inside line. Last time by, Scott Formosa led the fast lap, but I don't know if they're going to get caught back up. There you have it. The white flag is out. One more time around here in Daytona. Watch these 3 cars. Single file, not battling it out. They know if they do that, that's going to bring Swavely to them. Swavely may get there anyway. They're going to come down the backstretch. Everybody stays single filed out. Swavely's going to get to the back bumper of Fowler. 2 car lengths separate those. Jatina's on the apron. I think Joey Jatina's out of fuel. Shannon Wood all by himself. Does Richard Swavely get a run? He's going to. Richard Swavely to the bumper. Now to the outside. Side by side as they come across the stripe. Richard Swavely wins. A wild run at Daytona for the NC811 Limited Series. Picks up a championship, then turns it back around and picks up a trophy at Daytona. Richard Swavely, your winner. Shannon Wood, John Fowler, Scott Formosa. Jatina is going to finish 5th on the apron here. What a disappointing heartbreak for the 14. Mark Schrader, Cody DeForge, Bobby Wetzel, Doug Roth, Alex Henry, your top 10 is, man, what a night at Daytona. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll bring you some post-race coverage, including talking to our winner, Richard Swavely, here tonight. You're watching Turn 1. Great night of racing in the books, and John Fowler finds himself at the right place at the right time more often than not, it seems lately. John, congratulations, the top 3 at Daytona. That's almost, I mean, obviously not a victory, but that's got to feel pretty solid to kick off the season in these ARCA cars.
Hey, man, yeah, man, that stuff was fun, dude. I thought Dirty Monkey, man, I picked up a whole bunch of drivers this off season, and I thought we were about to be 1, 2, and 3. I had plans. I told Joey and Shannon, I said, I'm not moving. We'll fight it out, you know, on the front stretch coming to the checker, but I'm not moving. I want to win 1, 2, 3 for the first time for Dirty Monkey. But Joey blew up, man, and he was yelling, I'm blowing up, get around him. And I was like, well, I didn't want to wreck you. So that's why I didn't get up there and get Shannon to win, but I tried, man.
Well, John, listen, obviously the trucks were really competitive, and then now these ARCA cars, a little bit of a different racing style. What is it like to be behind these ARCA machines versus, say, the trucks?
Oh, they suck up fast, man. When I say that, man, they get it going on. I was like, man, this thing sucks up good. So that's the main thing. And then you can make runs. You can have runs. I truly think if we came off that turn 4, 1, 2, 3 like we were, and I jumped on the outside, I maybe could have got second. I couldn't get to the front, but you can pass. You can make runs and get past one, then jump back in line. Get past another and jump back in line. So I like these cars at Daytona. That was fun, man. That was a lot of fun.
John Fowler bringing home 3rd tonight. John, congratulations. Thanks for the time, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again later this season.
Yes, sir. And I just want to take this time real quick to thank you for coming out for another season. You do an awesome job, dude. You paint a picture, and it's freaking awesome. My friends and my family listen and watch, and they're like, oh, man, I'll go to work tomorrow, and we'll sit there and watch some replays. But you do an awesome job. But I want to thank all my teammates, man. Dirty Monkey came out here with 10 teammates tonight, and we worked together pretty good. And I want to thank them, man. They did an excellent job tonight. We didn't know how that was going to happen and how that was going to work out, but it worked out really good tonight. And me and Cody hooked up. We came out of the pits, and I was like, we're behind. Me and him caught the field. So, man, it was a good night. I have to thank you, man. I'm going to go upstairs. You know, with the routine, man, I got to go upstairs. I'm going to get ready for bed. I'm going to lay in bed with my hot wife, and I'm going to let her know she's married to a race car driver. It might be a fake one, but it's a race car driver. And we're going to watch this replay together, and we're going to talk about it.
You let her know, John. Congratulations, and thanks again for the time.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you.
John Fowler finishing 3rd here tonight. Let's quickly talk to race winner Richard Swavely. Richard, I don't know what to say. Obviously, the conclusion of last season was really solid for you. And then, obviously, the start of the season here is looking pretty good at Daytona. Walk me through your night.
I was kind of concerned there for a couple times. I kept ended up in the group of people that lost the lead pack, and then cautions and luck that very last run. I don't know if the guys ahead of us were saving fuel or what, but me and I think it was Jake Goodwin, lap down guy. I think we pulled like 8 or 9 seconds catching that lead back up. I'm like,
well, Richard, we saw obviously these cars get massive runs, and you were fairly far back there coming to the white, and then Joey Jatina and all that materialized there. As you turned into 3, did you feel like you were going to be able to have the run big enough to get around Shannon Wood there?
The second I seen the second I seen Joey blow his engine, I knew I was in a pretty good spot. Because I had it timed just right. I was getting ready to make my kind of lunge at everybody anyway. So when Joey's motor blew and everybody ahead of me lost their momentum, I was just like, well, this is party time now.
Well, party time indeed. Obviously, bringing home the championship a couple weeks ago. Now kicking off this season with a win. Richard Swavely brings it home here at Daytona. Richard, congrats again. We'll talk to you, I'm sure, many times this season, and probably going to see you at Rockingham in 2 weeks' time if I had to take a guess.
Oh, yeah. I love Rockingham, but thanks for putting this on. I want to thank Heavy's Audio, because I always have my Heavy's H18 headphones on when I'm doing my racing, and that was I still want to fill all the super speedways with water and suck them with bass, but I had fun tonight.
As long as you keep finishing top threes, you can say that as long as you'd like. Richard Swavely, your winner here tonight at Daytona. Let's quickly grab Shannon Wood, who I imagine is feeling a little bit of heartbreak down there in the pits tonight. Shannon, walk me through your night up front all night long. What happened there? Obviously, it sounds like the 14 blew up in turn 3, and that kind of set the tail of everything that have materialized after it.
Yeah, man, I don't think I've ever been so heartbroken to finish second in my life. Had a good run all night long. Pit stops 100% all night long. Come out, pretty much in the front all night long. Didn't know what I had to do there. Just Joey lost the motor there at the end. We lost the momentum, and we just sitting duck. Didn't have anything to do.
Shannon, tonight, obviously, being in these ARCA cars a little bit different. I'll ask you the same thing I asked John. What's the difference in these ARCA cars than, say, the trucks that we were running last season in this group?
I think they're pretty similar. They're a little twitchy on these super speedways. I think they definitely suck up better, and you'll get a huge run on the car in front of you, and you almost have to brake going down the back straightaway. But that's pretty much the difference. I don't know about the tire wear yet. I guess we'll wait and see when we get to Rockingham next week and see how that goes.
I was about to say, obviously, taking a holiday week off, but then we head to Rockingham. What does that look like for you? And what do you expect? What kind of piece do you expect to bring to that track?
Looking pretty good. I like Rockingham pretty good since they've redone it or whatever. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll rack them up and take them to Rockingham, see what happens.
Shannon Wood, heartbroken over about 6 feet here tonight at Daytona. Shannon, thanks for the time.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you putting this on. Thanks for North Carolina 811 for the sponsor, Dirty Monkey Motorsports, and everybody else out there, man. We appreciate it.
Shannon Wood here tonight, P2 at Daytona. And I tell you what, what I said at the top of this broadcast, just the show that this group puts on, that's what I'm talking about. You don't get much tighter racing at Daytona than that right there, side by side for the lead, and just a matter of feet, really, making up the difference there. Again, on behalf of the league admins, I say this every night, but I really do mean it tonight. I thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And thanks again, John, for the really, really kind words. That I don't know if I've heard anybody put it that way before, and I truly hope everybody enjoys the broadcast each and every week. Again, thanks for being here on behalf of Joey and the crew over at SIM500. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Sunday night for the Jalou KC Limited Series here on Turn 1. And then we're going to head off to 250th birthday of the country. And we're going to take a week off here on Turn 1. Until next time, everybody, we'll see you Sunday night for some Cup action. Good night. Bye-bye.